Hey, it's Paula Hines Lonergan, and time's up for me to be silent. I jumped on the computer today because I was sorting through some pictures and papers, and I came across a letter that my uncle who molested me wrote to my mother over 9 years ago. Now, as I've talked about in other videos, I kept the fact that I was molested by my uncle silent secret, most of my life. And then in 2010, I told my parents, and they, one, believed me, two, supported me, and understood. Fortunately, I was one of the ones whose parents got it. And so I told my parents in May of 2010, and of course, as I've mentioned in other videos, the revealing of what happened to me kind of rippled through the family. Uh, a lot of repercussions, a lot of different reactions. But in August of that same year, my uncle wrote my mom a letter. And it's interesting because I remember my mom's reaction after I told her what happened. She was very protective of me because I was very, I basically mentally and emotionally got sick. It was, I was fighting for sanity, and so she was very protective of me as far as my exposure. So I don't know if the uncle that molested me, if he wrote her because she didn't want him to write me, or I don't know what his motivation to write the letter. And to be honest, I have seen this letter before. My mother showed it to me at one point years ago, but I just came across it today and I wanted to share it, because it gives an insight, and I don't know what it explains in regards to the mind of a an adult that molests, touches, does other things to a child. I don't know. Anyways, here's the letter. It's dated August 12th. Hello, Jackie, is how my uncle starts off. He says, it has taken me a long time to write you, mainly because I did not know what to say. All of my life, I have tried to live a constructive and respectful life. It seems that over the past few months, some of this has changed. I am sorry, very sorry that Paula has been hurt. As I mentioned before, I'm not aware of anything I did. And if I did something to upset her, I do not do it intentionally. Again, I will say that I'm sorry. Say hello to Paul for me. And he signed it Ed. Boy, when I get to that part about I'm not aware of anything I did, gosh, that's always the hardest thing. I think probably not for just me, but any victim survivors of childhood sexual abuse. I mean, it's like, don't know what you did. I mean, I was a child, Anyways, okay, let me see if I can maintain some coherence here. But interestingly, he didn't directly come out and say what he did, or if, or confirm that he did anything. However, I remember reading it years ago. It's like, okay, yeah, he knows. He's being very careful the way he says it, you know. And the thing of it is that, you know, for most of my life, I never spoke about, being molested by my uncle. I mean, it was a non-issue to me. It was something I just didn't address. And so it's like, so it's almost like he's saying, yeah, I lived a respectful life all my life, but then as soon as someone tells the truth on what I really did, he's like, over the last few months, this has changed. I mean, and it's almost like he's placing it on me because of my coming forth with my truth and what he did. Then things have changed for him. But then what about me as the victim? Yeah. I guess the mind of a child molester is not to be understood, you know. Um, I mean, in books that I've read about survivors, I think it's a lovely and beautiful thing when the person that abused you actually comes forth and says, I did it, I'm sorry. Not that that takes away the repercussions or the results of what happened, but I think in most of our cases, um, as survivors, we may not get that um, apology or confirmation from the people that abused us, and that's not easy to live with. I mean, my uncle, you know I think he's still alive, to be honest. I'm not even sure. I do wonder, and then I do wonder, does he have an apology anywhere, for him? And then at the same time, it's like, okay, obviously I'm still working through what happened to me. Um, you know, I wait for the point when none of this ever matters, but I don't even know if that ever comes. So as I'm speaking, I'm processing things too. Um, Anyways, that's just what I want to share. And I don't know my point of this video at all. It's just that I found the letter. It's about something that I talk about anyways, and I just wanted to share. Anyways, any thoughts, comments, criticisms? What are your thoughts? Okay, this is Paula Hines Lonergan. Time's up for me to be silent. And send me a message. Thanks.